So if you haven't subscribed to Status Coup, which is an independent journalist outfit that goes around doing on-the-ground reporting, please consider doing that. They do really good work, and I hope they don't mind, but I wanted to share a couple of excerpts from some recent reporting they did, just because I think it demonstrates how clearly there's some real education problems in the United States, and also some real sort of racist otherizing going on. Of course, otherizing happens all over the world, but it's very extreme in the US with the at this present time, with Donald Trump sort of going full on and encouraging his followers to really ramp up these sort of culture wars. And the otherization that goes on here in this particular video, where Jordan Chariton and Status Coup go to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, where they're having Trump rallies, and they're also having leftist rallies, for, which are not necessarily for Biden, but they're for Black Lives Matter and the like. That's those kinds of issues, and the two are in the same area. And then there's this one guy with a few other Trumpers come up, and they start yelling racist slurs and homophobic, and they go through the whole gamut of. It's amazing. He goes through everything, and unfortunately, he's looks like an evangelical Christian, or at least he's using that to back up his claims, and he's going on about abortion, and he even tells one guy, there's a black guy there who's getting upset with them, and he even says, you know, go back to Africa, and you'd be better off on the plantation, and that kind of thing. I mean, it's almost like a satire, really. He just goes through the whole gamut of all these different otherizations and discriminations. It's very sad, and also equally sad is, well, firstly, that comes from massive ignorance, and secondly, all those seeds of all those different discriminations were already there, and it only takes somebody like Trump to kind of give more validity to them, and then they all come up. So in some ways, it's good to actually sort of see what's there, and then you can deal with it. That's why it's important, I think, to have, you know, that they don't shut down sites and block sites online that are promoting hate necessarily, because at least you can see it. Otherwise, you just push things underground. Not that I'm for ugly sort of sites that are hateful, but, you know, it's like anything. When you ban it, it goes underground. But anyway, these people are definitely, they have legitimate concerns, of course. Like he's an extreme example of the racist Trump supporters, but there are other people that voted for Trump that weren't like that had legitimate concerns, and that's why when you don't have an alternative to, when you don't really have any political valid parties running that are actually going to serve the people, you end up terrible social inequality and poverty and structural racist policies and the whole. And so all these, anybody who lives in America, except for really well-off people and really wealthy people, they have legitimate and serious concerns, particularly at this time of a pandemic. One of the guys who was a Trumper who was in this vehicle was going on, I don't want my taxes to pay for this and this and this. And that's where we need to understand how a sovereign economy works, and that federal taxes don't fund spending. If you look into that, look into Dr. Stephanie Kelton when she talks about the deficit myth. This MMT is simply a description of the operational reality of a sovereign economy. So, you know, this is a problem when people think that their taxes are paying for things that they don't like. You know, that becomes a problem, and in fact, it's actually not like that. But I'm getting off the track. But anyway, all I can say to this particular excerpt that Jordan Chariton was commenting on, and with his crew, all I can say is wow. And I was thinking, that's very sad that people are so ignorant. You know, that says a lot about the lack of education in that country, that people end up. They don't have any critical skills. It's almost like a cult following Trump. They don't even seem to care that he is not doing anything for them. They just sort of want to kick heads, basically. They don't seem to care that he's not doing anything for them, that they're actually voting against their own interests when they vote for Trump. They're voting against their own interests when they vote for Biden. That's the situation there now. That's when you don't have a real democracy. That's when you don't have a real fourth estate that talks about issues. You know, it's an SHIT show. It really is. The way that man is going on, he's an extreme example of the level of otherization that is going on there and is encouraged by Trump. And it's very sad to see. We have a low level of that happening in Australia. The certain kind of person who is propped up by Scott Morrison, who is an Islamophobic, racist all the different things that you would expect from a neoconservative right-wing government. He's all those things, and so you get those seeds are watered in Australia, and then people like similar to him, not as bad as him, but similar to this guy that I'm going to show you this excerpt. Similar to that guy, we have those kinds of people here in Australia too, and that's very unfortunate. And they usually have a very loud voice, and they're usually okay with violence. And the only reason I think that didn't come to blows in this particular clip is because there was a armed black person there, and there was also an armed white person there. And so it's sad that you have to have, it seems like you have to have armed people at a protest to prevent violence. That's sort of really sad. But anyway, so anyhow, let me show you that, and don't forget to subscribe to Status Coup with Jordan Chariton and Jenny Dees, I think her name is. I'm sorry, I've forgotten her last name. And there's also a camera person, and I can't remember his name either. So, but think about subscribing to them because they do good on the ground reporting. And it isn't easy. They did a whole bunch of interviews with different Trump supporters, and that was really, you could tell it was really taxing on Jordan, and it was, and it's very difficult, but he did it quite well, and he challenged them. He's not for Biden, of course. They're not for any particular party. Of course, they're leftists, but they totally criticize, the Democratic Party, probably more so than the Trump, than the GOP, but the GOP doesn't pretend to be a party of diversity or a party that is looking after the people. They don't pretend to be that, whereas the Democratic Party does. But anyway, so think about subscribing to them. Thanks for watching.
That's what you are. You're a lesbian. Bunch of wicked lesbians. Hey, you're a racist. You're a racist. You're a racist. You don't like America? Go back on that boat. You don't like America? Go back on that boat. You're nothing more than a racist. You're nothing more than a racist. Shame on you. You're nothing more than a racist. How about all those black-on-black murders? How about all those black-on-black murders, pal? Oh, you're a bunch of cowards, that's what you are. You're a coward. 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 You're a bitch. You're a good motherfucker, bro. You're a what? Don't call me bro. I'm not your bro. I'm not your bro. I'm not your bro. What about all the black-on-black murders, pal? You want to talk about murders? Women, black women aborting their babies more than any other race. So much for Black Lives Matter. So much for Black Lives Matter. Yeah, Black Lives don't matter. Black Lives don't matter. No, Shamiqua. Black Lives don't matter, Shamiqua. You kill your babies. You kill your babies. Oh, it doesn't matter to you. You're wicked. You're wicked. Hey, let me tell you, one minority member, let me tell you, you were better off picking cotton at the plantation. Your family stayed together when you were picking cotton at the plantation. Oh, you were picking cotton at the plantation. Oh, come on right here, pal. You want to say something, I'm right here. You want to say something, I'm right here. At least your families at the plantation knew who your daddy was. How about you? Do you know who your daddy is? Do you know? Yeah, your daddy's a devil. That's who your daddy is. Your daddy's a devil. Your daddy's a devil. You don't like this country, pal? I'll give you a ride back and you can go back to Africa. You go back to Africa. You can go back to Africa. Yeah, well, if you go, maybe you'll come back and be thankful you live in this country that you despise and hate. That you despise and hate. Shame on you. You're wicked in God's eyes. You're wicked in God's eyes. What are you, a little homo? What are you, a little homo? Are you a little homo? Shame on you, you little homo. Time for you to repent there, homo. Don't take a swing at me there, boy. You'll wind up with a wide eye, Leroy. This ain't Portland, Oregon, Leroy. Don't take a swing at me, buddy. You'll be very surprised what I'll do. Oh, you'll be very surprised there, Leroy. Walk away. We're not in the hood. We're not in the hood, pal. Now, what was that? You don't like America, buddy.
Somebody's already making a reaction. People are in here.
Drive away. Drive away. Oh, you don't know the God of the Bible. Not everything has to do with sex. No, not everything has to do with sex. You don't know the God of the Bible. You despise the God of the Bible.
Not that I agree with that.
Why would you people despise America? You want reparations? I will give you reparations. Let's give you some fire, some stones, and some sticks. Black people sold you. It was black people that sold you. Don't start blaming white man for everything. I'm not even a white man and I can understand that. Oh, come on, stop blaming the white man.
We're just asking for space. Give us
oh, where's the 6 foot space?
Give us some.
Where's the 6 foot space? Don't walk away. You got something to say, pal. I'm right here. Oh, I do. I do. I do. You guys just don't like it. Oh, but you're supposed to be so tolerant. You're supposed to be so tolerant. You guys would love to kill us. What are you dressed like a Muslim for? You would see that religion? They'd be killing you right now. You don't know the God of the Bible. Women just started to drive in Saudi Arabia. Time for you to repent. You don't even know the God of the Bible. And take this little lesbian with you. Take this little lesbo with you. Man. You guys are a bunch of Democrats when you got a lesbian here.
Hey, let's go. No! Hey, don't touch anyone. Hey, don't assault anyone. Hey, stop it. Don't touch everyone back. Turn around, give us a vote. Back her up. Give us a vote. Back her up. You guys, what happened is we're going to move this way. You guys aren't accomplishing anything.
Is it amazing that the symbol of the Democratic Party is a jackass? I mean, is it just me, or you guys have a symbol that's a jackass? Hey, Leroy, what's your problem? You're acting like a nigger, Leroy. You're acting like a nigger, Leroy. I get to say that. I'm a minority member, Leroy. Stop acting like a nigger. Stop acting like a nigger. You got a problem with that? You better stop that rap music. You got a problem with that? You better stop that hip-hop.
Give us a vote. Give us a vote. Give us a vote.
I'm not your brother. Well, you don't tell that to people that sing rap music there, pal. How consistent are you? How consistent are you? So a gentleman would throw water on somebody because they disagree? Is that what you're trying to say? He's a gentleman? He ain't no gentleman.
You sure are a gentleman. He ain't no gentleman. What are you?
Time to know the God of the Bible.
You don't know it.
Time to know the God of the Bible.
You don't know the God.
Oh, remember, whoever is president doesn't put his hand in the Quran. He doesn't put his hand in the Book of Mormon. He puts his hand on a Bible. On a Bible. The same Bible that tells women, you need to keep quiet. Yeah, you want to dress up like a Muslim. You're no Muslim. Prophet Muhammad was a pedophile. How old was Aisha when Prophet Muhammad married Aisha? raisin heads. Your prophet called them raisin heads. Was I supposed to get scared, Leroy? Was I supposed to get nervous? Was I supposed to get nervous? You want to go back into the joint and have Bubba say hello to you in the shower?
You smell like shit, motherfucker. What can you do?
Why do we have
You smell like this. You got a knife. Shut the fuck up.
Why do lesbians support abortion? Why do lesbians support abortion?
Exactly what they want. They want us divided. We need to go back over there.
Oh, you guys are divided? You don't even know what sex you are. You don't even know if you're male or female. You don't know what you are. You don't even know what you are.
It's all right. Everybody needs to go back and join our protest, okay? Go back over here.
Wear the mask on. Remember, the government says to put the mask on. Wear the mask. Put the mask on. Yeah, put the mask on there, pal. Yeah, put the mask on. Remember, do whatever the government says.
You don't have a mask on.
Rally, please, and don't put on our speakers.
Exactly.
A lot of them.
I'm gonna say.
Just keep on. This is what they wanted. They wanted us to come over here.
Where's your mask?
Oh, we know who wants the pants in that family. You're doing all the talking and you don't do anything. We know who wears the pants in that family. You're an effeminate type of guy, aren't you? You're an effeminate
I work for
type
Free
of
Equal, so I supported Jim Stein and Gary Johnson, and we held the
You don't know much Bible, do you?
debates. So I just overheard. I was like third party.
Time to read the Bible.
Yeah, no, I get it. She sold out to the Johnson to get all that lobbyist money.
You want the same thing? I'll put it in your area, little crybaby. You can't handle it, can you? Time for you to know the God of the Bible, people. Time for you to get serious about the God of the Bible. If you don't like America, you can leave. Don't burn the flag. You want to be thankful you live in this country. Time for you to know the God of the Bible, people. Time for you to get serious about the God of the Bible. If you don't like America, you can leave. Don't burn the flag. You want to be thankful you live in this country. You want to be very thankful you live in this country. You want to be thankful. We have people willing to risk their lives for you, and this is how you say thank you. You're a bunch of ingrates. Amen. Amen.
They matter.
What are you going to do when Trump gets another 4 years? Oh, what are you going to do when President Trump gets another 4 years? All the anti-depressant drugs you guys are going to take, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable when Trump wins. And let me tell you, Trump is nothing. Wait till you meet our King Jesus, and he's going to put you into hell. He's going to put you into hell because you believe same-sex marriage, because you believe abortion, because you despise authority from our police to our military to God. You people just despise authority in general. Time for you to get right with God. Obey the God of the Bible. Obey the God of the Bible. Do you know him? Do you know God? I bet you're in favor of homos getting married, aren't you? I bet you're in favor of homos getting married, aren't you? Well, if God was so tolerant, why did God destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? No, it's not. In fact, it's found in the book of Jude, and there's only one chapter. It was due to fornication, not inhospitality. You don't know the God of the Bible. mama. What do you care about voting? You're going to be playing a video game anyway. You just despise America. You despise this country that gives you so much. Rebellious. You need a good spanking. You shouldn't be put in timeout. You need a good spanking. And this is your verbal spanking right here. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Man, what do you think of these people? It seems like they're trying to intimidate.
They are trying to intimidate, and it's not going to work. They're just full of it. They're full of themselves. They don't know nothing. They're little kids. They haven't been through crap in their lives like we have. This is bull. Trump is an idiot, and these people are all spewing crap.
You have a man over there who was openly saying the N-word and other things.
Yeah.
I need to go back to Saudi as soon as I got on my car, which is way down.
And I'm a lesbian.
Told you to go back to
Saudi Arabia. And I've been here my family well before the Civil War. I had two brothers fighting Iraq. And they told me that they don't have a problem with my religion because that's what they fought for, was the freedom of America. Makes sense. So, yeah, as soon as we got out of the car, or whatever.
I mean, he accused me of being a lesbian because I wore a tie-dye. Come on. That's a narrow mind, and I actually feel sorry for him. You know, all these people with such narrow minds that don't know what's going on and what's got to stop.
Do you think the president has incited them to be like that?
Yes, he has. He's a bully. He's a pompous bully. And he needs to be stopped because we're better than this. Our United States are so much better than him. And he doesn't stand for anything that we believe in. And he needs to go.
Do you think the president is inciting these young people, inciting these people to express this hatred?
Yes, of course. The man, the hatred seeps out of his pores. I don't understand how they could follow him. I just can't. I can't take it in. It doesn't make sense to me. They don't see what he's doing. They think they're patriotic. Well, patriotism is more than following the guy in the White House. It's about believe what you believe. But you shouldn't believe on preaching hate. It's just common sense. It's common sense.
Do you think Joe Biden is doing enough to say what he's for instead of vote for me, I'm not Trump?
I think he could be a little bit more forward with what he wants and what he would like to see happen. I Yeah, I just don't think he's putting himself out there enough. A little bit more would be better. You know, just to let us know exactly where he stands and exactly what he wants and what he believes in.
Most of what I'm hearing is Trump, Trump, Trump. Anybody but Trump, which is kind of what happened in 2016, and she lost.
Yeah, right. I mean, Biden isn't the best choice, but he's the only other choice we have. And if that's who I have to vote for to get Trump out of there, then that's what I'll do.
Are you encouraged to see so many young people out here standing up against this kind of hate?
Yes.
Definitely. I am so proud of them. And I'm glad to see that the activism has kicked up. It's unfortunately that it seems like everything happened at once between the Black Lives Matter, the virus, the economy. So it's overwhelming, and I like that they are waking up and joining us. So.
What's your name?
Tracy McKelvey.
Yes.
Joy Lundorf.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, just two people who have been experiencing this, and I mean, it's obviously this guy is what they call a provocateur. He comes over here to try and stir up shit, and, you know, basically, it seems like he's trying to get somebody to deck him. I mean, that's what you're doing when you're calling a black guy, you know, the N-word, and telling him to go back to Africa and all these things. It's unfortunate because whether you're for Trump or not, everybody has the right to protest, and you know, it seems that his intention in coming over to this protest was to kind of disrupt it and get in their face and basically just be racist and those kind of things. So, but I will say there's a very healthy number of people out here countering Trump protesters. So it kind of reminds me a lot of 2016. You don't see a lot of people out here. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You don't see like a ton of Biden signs per se. You see more signs against Trump, which makes sense since, you know, most of the polls show that people are not overly enthusiastic for Biden in particular. They just want Trump out. You see that major sign over there, Trump, racist enemy of all workers, Wisconsin, bail out the people's movement. Then you see, I guess, Trump supporters have anti-abortion signs and signs, I guess, of fetuses or whatever. If you go to Status Quo's Twitter right now, at Status Quo on Twitter, I posted a clip of this racist jerk-off telling a black man to go back to Africa. So definitely go there, retweet it if you want. I think we need to get it out to more people that this kind of hate is going on. I actually lied. Right there is a Biden sign, so there is some people out here supporting Biden. Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Oh, sure.
Protesting the DNC, protesting the Democratic Party platform, protesting the fact that during a deadly pandemic there is not Medicare for all. But I think over the last however long we've been live, I think for over 2 hours probably, you've seen the full range. You've seen a lot of hate, a lot of stupidity, a lot of people voting against their own interests, a lot of people endangering their lives and other people's lives by not wearing masks, a lot of people who, when I actually challenged them on the facts, on what Trump has done or has not done for them economically, they really didn't have much of an answer. A lot of people quoting Jesus to me and scripture and using cattle to describe tax policy. I mean, frankly, a lot of deranged behavior. So it definitely, listen, I'm no Joe Biden fan, but I also don't want to sugarcoat it. You definitely get a sense of Donald Trump's impact on America for the negative, for the worse, by being out here and interviewing these people. You know, I don't want to say they're all bad people because that's a generalization, but a lot of them are very, very misinformed, uninformed, radicalized, and it's not a pleasant thing to experience. I generally stay calm during interviews because I don't want to make it about me. But, just interviewing a lot of these people, you just get a sense that even if Trump is defeated, this kind of hate doesn't just, go back into hibernation, they've kind of been let out of the genie's out of the bottle, and it's not going to just go back to normal. And the sense that I get from interviewing a lot of these folks is they're not particularly for Trump based on any policy. They're for basically what he stands for, which is blaming the other. I mean, that's really what it is. So